Hey video game fans, this is Matt, back again for another Fallout New Vegas playthrough guide. Pardon the loud music, I have no control over it. So, before I get any further, in the last video, I started off saying that there were 13 mailboxes, and by the end I said there was 14. I did another count when I was rewatching the video. There are 15 mailboxes. So, 15, easier number to remember that way. If you miss a couple of them, it's not the end of the world again, but there are 15. I just wanted to make that correction before I continue on with this video. So this is part 2 of my Goodsprings Area guide. This one is more about certain event. I got to think through, what do I want to show you? So this little scumbag wants you to go up in the hills and do a little job for him. Do it, don't do it, fine. I usually do it just because it's just a little bit of experience. I'm not going to mess with it right now because there's really no I don't think there's really any advice I can give you about it. But remember in the previous video I said that there are a bunch of Xander roots and Brock flowers in the immediate area where we were at, so it was kind of stupid to run all the way back to Goodsprings just to get the stuff. Well, this is what I'm talking about. There are all sorts of Xander roots at the base of these little mountain cliffs and things, and if you wander out, but of course this will trigger the point of no return as well, but that's fine. We've already done that, so you're not going to see it in this video. The trick, though, is that once you get out here, you're going to have to deal with geckos. Lots and lots of geckos. If you have a problem with shooting little geckos, then you might want to, cover your eyes. Oh my god. I'm still getting used to the controls on this. The key binding is not the same as on my Xbox, and I am really horrible about changing it back. Changing it to something I'm more familiar with, I generally just grind it out and suffer. More jalapenos. Okay, I got to focus more on the my guide here. There haven't been many Brock flowers. The Brock flowers are located up higher. But down here you can get a lot of those Xander roots. So if you really are in a survival mode and you want to make sure you're if you want to play on the harder settings, you're probably going to need a lot more healing, in which case that healing powder is going to be important. So getting all of these things is going to be much more important on harder settings. You little shit. God. Tenacious little bugger. And up the hill anyway, there's a bunch more geckos, and there's a little campsite that again you're trying to help out this dude down here. Again, I don't have any advice on it. You can access the thing from the backside. You don't necessarily have to go up the hill that way, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of advice I have for that. I still don't have survival skills to do anything, but I'll make some more healing powder in case I need it. Oh, I forgot to do that too. I really should ping this stuff. Healing powder. Stim packs. I'm key binding my the pad button so it's easier for me to access this stuff. And sunset sarsaparilla. That way I don't have to go into my inventory to heal. There's not much out here. Okay, so before leaving the area entirely. Oh, we don't want to go that way. I'm going the wrong direction here. These ruins over here have a few wardrobes. You can loot some stuff. Some more outfits, nothing major. The powder gangers down here are neutral to you, so they're not going to attack you. They have a little crate of dynamite down there. It is stealing if you try to take it there, and they will attack you if they see you doing it. Okay, I've visited enough places that I can do fast travel now. Not important. There are a handful of little locations I want to show in this video. And some things might or might not happen based on what we're doing. So here at Gene's Skydiving, there is a sunset sarsaparilla cap, and there is a key. Little advice. There is a locked locker over here that you might not be able to, might not have a high enough lockpicking skill because it is level 50. That key is to that locker. But if you're like me, I'd rather get the experience for lockpicking it than taking the key and using the cheat. So if I have a magazine that helps me reach that level, then I'm going to take that route. My lockpicking skill is 40, so I only need plus 10. So even the basic lockpicking ability will get me there. It is my only locksmith reader. The alternative is to increase your what is it? Perception, right? Yeah. Every point in a special gives you 2 points in the related skills. So in order for me to get 10 points in a skill, I need to increase one of these by 5, and that's not going to happen. But it is possible if you wear a certain piece of equipment, or like a pair of glasses will give you plus 1 perception. Certain outfits will give you plus 2 in a certain skill, or a certain. They don't usually give you specials or more than just 1 or 2 points. But if you only need 5 points, a lot of times you can get away with not using the magazine if you eat this particular drug, wear this particular outfit, and that can get you to the same result. I hope the experience is worth it, because that magazine is pretty valuable. Got me 40 experience points. I don't really need the outfits. Don't forget the stuff on top. Okay, well, I picked up a star bottle cap. Pretty sure that's my first one, so nothing triggered. There's stuff I want to go to down this road, but I'm going to access it from a different point of view because it's... Do I? Yeah, I do. So that was Gene skydiving. Next, we're going to go to the Coyote Den. I always recommend getting this out of the way while you're here. It'll give you a little combat experience fighting coyotes and their pups. It's pretty much a bloodbath. Explosives work well. I know, it's grisly. Hollowed out rock? I cannot tell you where all the hollowed out rocks locations are. I've yet to find many of them. There are some that I know of just because I've encountered them enough, but it's a carryover from Fallout 3. There's little hollowed out rocks out in the world, and I know where a few of them are. I can't tell you where all of them are, though. I have no idea. Okay. Let's switch to long range weapon. There's a skeleton at the bottom of this little incline, and he's sitting on top of some cat eye. Go ahead and use that. This will be your first experience with cat eye. Night vision, which isn't really any better than your normal vision. But there's a coyote. Varmint rifle does a lot of damage, so it's a pretty good weapon to use against coyotes. But this weapon is in bad shape. Now, down there are a bunch of coyotes. And they're pups. Feel free to loot the bodies if you like. I don't like eating coyote meat. See, the thing is in very good shape. You're having a hard time reloading it. Alright, so in the bottom of this cave, you will find a bright follower. I know the location of pretty much all the bright followers at this point. I've been on quests. The ghouls that are the bright followers. Oh, I love it. Sometimes you get a plasma rifle or a laser pistol, or it could be any energy weapon, but I love getting the recharger rifle. And if you know where these bodies are, it's worth it. You can take the robe if you like. I try to leave... I don't like leaving a bunch of naked bodies behind, so I tend to leave their outfits alone. Bottle cap, magazine, I don't need the baton. And then there's another wastelander here, pick up his stuff. And then the real find, as if that wasn't good enough, there's a duffel bag down here that's got good stuff in it too. Well, this one wasn't as good as the last time I was here, but I don't need a bunch of ashtrays. Other than the bodies of the coyotes, that's all that's down here. But this is a nice little spot. Using cat eye is helpful, and we got good little loot. If you are not playing with the DLC content, though, this is awesome. I mean, if you're not playing with the other DLC stuff, you do not want to have to buy everything from what's his name at the store because it's too expensive. Well, look in there. You have several different outfits. You'll find some weapons. You'll find some ammo. You might even... last time I played this, one of them had a sledgehammer on them. I mean, you can find a lot of good gear on those 3 bodies and in the duffel bag. So if you're not playing with the DLC, that's an awesome location, just a stone's throw away from Goodsprings, which is why I highly recommend looting it early in the game, just like I just did. With the DLCs, all right, it's not as good because you already got a bunch of good stuff in your inventory, which is why I recommend new players not playing with all the DLC stuff. It's not even the DLCs. It's specifically the one DLC. I can't remember what it's called, but it gives you a bunch of gear. And it kind of, like I said, it's a great thing for somebody who's played the game on multiple occasions because it just lets them start off the game and get into the game. But for new players, I think it spoils it because I think it gives you too much good stuff right out of the gate, and you don't have to work for it. You don't appreciate the stuff that you find. Okay. Don't want that, but I want that. Another star, sunset sarsaparilla star bottle cap. Now you got 2 of those. A couple of ammo. There's a motorcycle gas tank, which is a lot more important in the Fallout 3 than in here, but if you need to find one, there it is. And another one there. So they got those 3 ammo cases and the turbo, I think is what is in there. That's essentially all that's down here, and the bottle cap, of course. Now, the place up here is littered with coyotes. The coyotes more or less keep to themselves if you keep your distance, but if you get too close, they'll chase you, and then you have to fight them off. And I'm switching weapons. I love the recharger rifle, but it does take a little bit to recharge. Where'd they go? Alright, that's fine. Okay, so there's a cemetery. The valley of all of those giant scorpions is over there. Stay away from it. Just trust me, stay away from it. There's stuff that's over there that's nice to get, but you're going to want to go there at a later date. If, and I say if, you don't want to use Victor's Shack as your local home base, or you don't want to use the little trailer that's on the one side of town that I mentioned, there's this hacienda. Not sure who was using this before, but there's a golf club in here, a 9-iron, ammo box. You get yourself a reloading bench, which is nice. There's a bed here, which is nice. Some steady. There's a harmonica camouflaged on the carpet. Some dirty water. A magazine, Lad's Life. Some shelving that's not in great shape, but you could put stuff on it if you really wanted to. If you wanted to clean the place up, you could. I will say that I have cleaned this place up entirely and left and came back. Every so often, the clutter that's in here will respawn. So, as far as I know, the stuff that's in the cases won't. So you're not going to lose anything storing stuff in here. But as far as what the appearance in here, the stuff that's in here will eventually get all goofy. I mean, you might decide, oh, I'm going to put this crate over here and I'm going to put stuff into the refrigerator and so forth. But every once in a while, you'll come back here and everything will be scattered around again. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we did Hell's Pit, or whatever it was called. I can't remember. Devil's Pit. We got the little shack. The third location is the big cross up here, the memorial, Yangtze Memorial. Now, on the Xbox version, if you come out here at an early enough level, you're fine. It'll just be like this. But if you come back, there occasionally a giant scorpion will spawn here, and you might have to fight it out a little bit to get rid of him. But there's enough terrain here you can maneuver around. It's not too hard to kill him. This is the second time I've played this on this PC, and so far he hasn't spawned here, so I don't know, maybe that was just an Xbox thing. It's a little glitch. But anyway, there's a number of little things here for you to loot, but most of them are going to be empty. The first thing here is a hollowed out rock. It's just going to have a couple of things in here, no big deal. I'm not going to take the wrench. There's 3 graves. Only one of them ever has anything in it. The other ones are empty. But again, if you don't have a shovel, you won't be able to access it. Incinerator. Ooh, that's fun. Empty. Okay. Now, you could think, oh, that's it. That's everything. No, that's not everything. The best thing is still here. There is a duffel bag of some kind of a survivor, and it's usually loaded with some good stuff. And some junk. A lot of ammo. But as you can see, my weight level is getting close to the 210 limit. A lot of warning signs telling you not to go ahead because there's death claws. Well, there's no death claws in this immediate area, but yes, they are in the vicinity. You can find some giant scorpions, though. Next point of interest in this video is just down the hill. You can see it right there near where my X is. There was a sniper or something on this hillside, and he didn't make it. There is a knife. Oh, I lost the knife because I accessed the magnum rounds. If you grab the knife, the magnum rounds will fall through the earth. If you grab the magnum rounds, the knife falls through the earth, but oh well. And then there's the first aid kit, which can get you some stuff. Nice little point of interest, incredibly easy to miss. It's just in the bluffs. If you want to kind of pinpoint your location, it's just down the hill from the big cross. But it's very easy to miss. And it overlooks the area that we were approaching from Gene's skydiving over there. So the Powder Ganger camp, the Powder Gangers have attacked a caravaner here, and their Brahmin died over here. And then there is a wrecked truck over there that has some coyotes in it, and just down the road is another little town of Sloan. As a beginner, I do recommend doing this stuff because it's a good way of getting a lot of gear. If you're playing with all of the DLC content, it's a little less vital to get all this stuff, but another magazine, some more ammo, some box with some junk in it. Out here there's a body. Leather armor. That's the first leather armor we've seen in the game. Of course, I'm already using lightweight leather armor, so I don't need it, but if you were looking for good armor, that's the best armor we've seen so far. You can also loot the Powder Gangers that are dead. They will leave you alone.
Never gets old when something blows up.
Again, if you do the whole mission of saving Goodsprings from the Powder Gangers, then all the Powder Gangers turn hostile, and you won't be able to do this. They will attack you on sight. Not much there. Oh, lucked out. Sometimes the coyote has cubs in here. We lucked out. We don't have to kill anything. Lots of supplies. Med bag. A bunch more supplies. At this point, I'm usually overloaded, but I've managed to dump enough stuff that I'm not. There's a few more Powder Gangers over there. Again, they'll leave you alone because you haven't done anything against them yet. You still don't want to go near their camps. They have a number of outposts surrounding. Over there's the prison. They have an outpost over there. Anyway, they have some outposts in the area, and if you hang around in those outposts, they will attack you. But right here, these guys are just kind of like on the fringes, looking for, merchants to beat up. Underneath the rail bridge, you'll find another bright follower. This is another little advice. It's easy to miss. Again, he'll have some kind of an energy weapon and some energy ammo. The first time I ever found a rechargeable rifle was on one of these. But that's all that's there. This valley that's over here does have a lot of wild vegetation. There are jalapenos. If you're playing a survivor build where you need a lot of ingredients for recipes and things, the desert has got a lot of nice stuff here. Barrel cactus, pinion nuts, I believe that's what this is. No, honey mesquite. Honey mesquite. Okay. Again, before I move on into my guide, this might be it for the Goodsprings area, because once I move beyond this, I have information for the prison and for Prim and for Sloan. Yeah, I've got several different things I want to record. Let's, since we're still doing the Goodsprings stuff, let's go over to the prison, and I'll show you that there's great value in not pissing off the Powder Gangers this early. Well, I don't know about great value, but some value. So there's one of their camps. Stay away from it. There's also mines surrounding them. They will blow you up in a hurry, and if you're on the harder modes, the damage is that much more lethal. If you're playing on the easier modes, it's not as deadly. A large dog. But again, just some friendly advice for new time explorers. could use this as a local hole-up spot. There is a bed that you can sleep in. Some storage. But again, this is out in the world, so I don't recommend storing stuff here because the global stuff tends to refresh a little more often than the interior locations. Another word of advice. There are little landmines out in here as well. If you have good skills, you can disarm them before they go off, but, you know, minefields, might as well avoid them if you can. So, why is it so important to get the powder gangers at the prison on your side? It isn't, but it's going to help you out in Prim. And Prim's looking for a new sheriff, and one of their new sheriff candidates is located here. And if you piss off the powder gangers in Goodsprings, you won't have access to this.
Look at you.
Fine, I'll pay the 100. There's other ways in. You can intimidate him depending on what your skills are and stuff, but for the shits and giggles, I'm just going to go ahead and pay him to give me access. This guy's going to tell you that although we're not friends, you know, it basically gives you the rundown. Don't piss them off or, you know, they'll start attacking you. In this interior location, there's only a couple of things you really need. One, there is another Sunset Star sarsaparilla cap. Go ahead and steal that when nobody can see you. Here is your sheriff candidate, Myers. He's serving a stint for the NCR in prison, and he's not a powder ganger. He's just choosing to serve out his sentence, and hopefully he doesn't get killed in the crossfire. He also tells you about Cook, who is one of the powder gangers that left the area. Can't really do anything with him now, but once you go to Prim and you find out their situation and they need a sheriff, this is where he's at. There is another magazine here. If you want it, the best way to do it is to access your, grab ability, which for me is the right stick button.
You eyeballing me?
Then go ahead and take it someplace where you can go into where you're not visible, and go ahead and put it in your inventory. If you try to steal it out there, chances are somebody's going to see you. And they will turn hostile if they see you steal something, despite the fact they're a bunch of criminals. There is an explosive crate here that you can use to store stuff, but anything you pull in and out of there will be considered stealing. There's a workbench. Not going to worry about that. There's not a lot of good stuff to loot in this prison. There are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 towers. Each one of them has some stuff up there that's worth getting. Some ammo, some weapons, some drugs. Down here on the ground, there's not a lot of loot. Lots of junk. I mean, if you're looking for glass bottles and dishware, there's plenty of stuff. But another reason why you want to make at least befriend the powder gangers to this point is because they do have a merchant. It's in the other cell block, unfortunately, isn't it? Come on, go away, go away, go away. You are just annoying, aren't you? Hidden. Oop, hidden. I need a 50 in lockpicking, armor case. There's a Desperado cowboy hat, some powder ganger armor. I want to get the mines that are in here. All right.
Never gets old when something blows up. Never gets old when something blows up.
So this cell block just has crap in it. but it might be useful crap. You just got lots of bottles, lots of cans, some explosives. These guys like their explosives. For some strange reason, NCR decided, well, let's put these criminals to work doing some mining work for us and let them have access to explosives. Yeah, that backfired in their face. Okay. That cell block is less useful. The other cell block, though, has a merchant. It's not the best merchant in the world. He doesn't really have a whole lot, but if you're trying to get rid of some stuff, because right now I'm overloaded, and there's more stuff in here you can steal as well.
It's about time a new customer showed up.
Again, anytime you find merchants in this game, in their basic inventory, which doesn't have a title on it, go ahead and buy every playing card. It's possible you can have a whole deck of cards without having to interact with the dude at Goodsprings. Hey, damaged garden gnome. Doctor's bag, that's good. There's a grenade rifle you could use to fix yours. Yeah, it's not really worth it. Steam packs are definitely worth it, but you're going to need to trade some stuff to get it. Let's see, anything else I'm carrying that I don't want to carry anymore? Got a couple of laser pistols, but I'm going to fix them up. Ah, screw it, just get rid of them. Camera. Crutch cup. At some point, you will have to make a decision. Are you going to side with the powder gangers or are you going to side with the NCR? I do recommend siding with the NCR, but it's up to you. The NCR aren't great, but the powder gangers are just, ugh. They're not strong enough to fend off Caesar's Legion. They're just going to get absorbed or killed by them. So. There.
Pleasure doing business with you.
I can see if I can steal anything else from them. Again, this is useful experience points. Even if you don't want to steal anything in there, you get experience for picking the lock. Ooh, mentats. Those are always worth taking. Nothing in here. Nothing in here.
Any lawman that comes after me won't have it easy.
You can buy these things and sell it to the guy right away, but I'm just going to take his money. Oh, yes. The schematics for powder charge. That is one thing you want to grab when you're in here. This is the easiest way to access all this stuff, is to just not be enemy of the powder gangers this early. All this stuff you can get later on. If you decide to side with the NCR and raid this place, you'll be able to loot all this stuff anyway. So up there, up all the different towers or different stuff. I'm not going to mess with it now, but yeah, there are little lootable bits up there. Lots of plates. If you want to use a campfire, there's one campfire available that you can utilize. I don't have very good survival skills. If you want, you can go in and talk to the boss in the administration center. In here, I'm just going to use that to fix up my own rifle. Yeah. Anything else I can repair? No.
Hello.
There is a quote-unquote doctor in here.
Heard there was a new face around. I'm the doctor around here. Sort of.
But he won't, there's no access. He can't buy anything from him or anything else. But he does have some doctor's bags and first aid and all this other stuff, but you have to steal it. So probably won't be doing anything with that. In this back room,
Damn, running low on smokes again.
dirty water, dog meat, purified water, that's worth taking. There's also a bunch of plates, sunset sarsaparilla, all of which is useful.
Hey.
Remember what I did with the magazine? You could do the same thing with these this stuff.
Any lawman that comes after me won't have it easy.
You can just pull this into here. You're out of sight of everybody. You can steal it that way. So
Evening.
anything that isn't tied down, basically. A little word of advice. You got a lot of guards in here. Best not to mess with anybody. There's a lot of guys in here. There's the boss is in here. There's a safe. There's the terminal. I wouldn't recommend dealing with any of this stuff until you turn on these guys. If you decide you're not going to turn on the powder gangers, you're going to side with them against the NCR, good luck trying to steal any of that stuff, because they don't like leaving that room. There is a lying congressional style book. You want to take that. Be very careful stealing stuff in here, because those guys that are wandering around with guns will come in here and sit down, and then they'll leave, and then they'll get up and leave, and then they'll come in, and they just meander around. This thing, likewise, I want to get in, but I don't want to be seen doing it. There's also a gun cabinet. Need a lockpick of 50. Need a lockpick of 50. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You could get a...
Hey.
You can get rid of this guy.
Hello.
Have I picked up a lockpicking magazine? I don't think so. Nope.
Evening.
But be aware, there's good stuff inside that room as well. But again, you're going to need to have that lockpicking of 50. Oh, totally forgot about this. So the main reason why you don't want to, besides access to all this stuff, easy access, is you talk to this guy.
Dahl said he lets.
He gives you some missions. You got to deal with Chavez. Basically, he gives you 1, 2, 3 missions. One mission is to deal with Chavez, which is one of the outlying outpost commanders, who's being a little bit of a dick. Then you have to run off a bounty hunter, and then you have to start dealing with stuff with the NCR. But these missions will get you experience points, so it's worth doing them. So you have access to the compound itself, the loot that's available in all the towers without having to invade the thing, the 2 cell blocks and everything that's inside. It's a gold mine. If you do the Goodsprings missions first, everybody here is going to be hostile. You're not going to be able to walk inside. You're going to have to shoot your way in, and this whole place is filled with guards. So you're probably not even going to attempt to do that. What you're going to end up doing is going to Prim, dealing with the NCR, help them retake the prison by force. It's a big bloody mess. So you might as well take advantage of this limited opportunity to get a bunch of stuff for beforehand. So that's the end of the Goodsprings portion of my my playthrough guide. I personally think that doing these few missions gets you some experience, and the access is worth putting off doing the Goodsprings mission. But eventually you do want to go back and do Goodsprings. The alternative is to let the Powder Gangers take over Goodsprings, which is a real heinous thing to do, and I don't think it really benefits because they're not going to be able to defend the town against the Caesar's Legion. I believe everything else is going to have to go into... I'm going to have to make another video for the next... I got a couple of other ideas of things I want to do and show some little... not shortcuts, but some tactic things. I'm just going to do these as I think of them. I'm going to record little videos, I think, showing the different aspects. And the next one will be dealing with, I think, the northern road out of Goodsprings. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And that'll be my next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you find these interesting, and if not interesting, entertaining, and if not entertaining, informative. But that's all I got for now. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.